All right, we're going to try this for time number 3 right now. Damn, been trying to do this live stream for a half an hour. YouTube, my laptop was getting overheated. I thought the thing was about to start cooking bacon for me. I felt the sizzling, so I let that bad boy cool off. We let it all go. YouTube seems to be good, proper, ready to rock and roll. As we started off the last stream, criticizing all the fake people out there on Twitter that are saying, this game tonight, it's not going to be good. Thursday Night Football, these two teams with one win. The NFC East, shut up. Shut up. In June, you'd be chomping at the bits to watch Pee Wee football, right? So anytime you see somebody say something like that, just know that they're going to be watching the game. They're going to be stuffing their face at night. They're going to be loving the game. They're going to be tweeting. They're going to be the ones tweeting about the ref's bad call, right? They're going to be so invested in it. This game that was a piece of shit, right? Man, I can't wait to win maybe 6 figures tonight on this, right? Yeah. Let's go. Where's everybody's energy at? What's up? Yeah, no, I know. Everybody's like, where's Sal? It's 5 minutes past the stream time. Don't worry. I'm making sure that everything's good so we don't crash again. No promises that this won't crash. I think we're all good now, though. I think we're all good. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Got my lineups crunched to my right. Got my projections to my left. And on the screen in front of me is the screen that you're seeing right now. Basically, it's just with some of these interests and player notes. Most of the interest that you can see there. We'll go a little bit lower than that. But what's up, everybody? Hello, Taste of Painbow, says hello, Salvatore. What's up, man? How you doing? Woot, woot. Who's your team, Sal? What team do I root for in football? I was born and raised a Packers fan. I'm still a Packers fan. I'm not as, invested the last, 3 years as I started doing this as a living in, the fandom side. I still watch the games. I still enjoy the games. But when they lose, and if they lose in heartbreaking fashion, I do not have anywhere near as much as the emotional toll, which is a good thing. What up? He says, hey, Sal, thanks for all the great info you give us each week. Yeah, no problem. So, this is going to be basically a Q&A session. What's up, everybody? If you're brand new here, if you're just joining in, this is what we're going to be doing Thursday Night Football. We do this for the Monday and Thursday night streams and Sunday before the games start. That's what we got right now. We're going to answer your questions Q&A style. You got questions about players that I have exposure to, let me know. I'll try and help you out as much as I can. I have projections, rankings, a bunch of different tools, not only for the Showdown slates, but a bunch of other stuff on Patreon down below. And ownership is hopefully coming next week. I'm in talks, exchanging emails today to finish up some things. I don't think it'll be ready before Sunday's games. Maybe it will be by Saturday, but I was told by the end of the day tomorrow I should have next steps. So hopefully that'll be maybe even ownership, but probably next week. That'll be up on Patreon as well. So lots of stuff over there. The video is sponsored by Monkey Knife Fight, as you can see above my head right now. If you're not already on Monkey Knife Fight, I don't know what you're doing. The Boston Scott props on Monkey Knife Fight tonight, just go hammer them. They are fantastic. I have the contest right now. I have the overs with some of the Boston Scott stuff. Some of these quarterback yards, unders look pretty nice there, though. Some of the pass rushes that these teams are going to be facing. So check out Monkey Knife Fight. Promo code Vetri, my last name, VETRI. You get free money up to $50. You put 10 in, they give you 10. You put 50 in, they give you 50. Whatever number you want to put in, 17, they give you 17. You go ahead, you do that. Bam, they send it right back to you. There's your ad read, Monkey Knife Fight. Really proud sponsor of the show. Hoping to do bigger things and even more improved things as time goes on with them. Awesome brand. So be sure to check them out. You support them. You support the show. Sal, any projection on Quez Watkins, says Sean Preston. So what's up, Sean? Yeah, his snaps have gone up, right? No doubt about it. His snaps have gone up right now. The issue right now, though, with Quez Watkins is he's not running routes, right? He played, I think, 15% of the snaps or 15% of the snaps last week. Deshaun Jackson is now back, right? So I don't think Quez Watkins, I would say he doesn't even step on the field tonight. Sal, watching you on the movie set here in Oklahoma. Hey, yo, shout out to you guys. What's up? I don't know if you're alone with people. What's up, everybody? What's good with these ownership projections, Sal, says Cody. Yeah, ownership projections should be coming to Patreon soon. I was hoping to have them today. We're exchanging emails, hopefully next week. Sometime, though. I mean, the answer is there will be ownership projections this NFL season, unless some sort of falling out happens out of nowhere. Edits donates $2. He says, trade Gordon, get Gibson, PPR, who has a higher ceiling. I would prefer Antonio Gibson right now for the rest of the season. I'm fading Scott tonight, somebody says. Ooh, okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not fading Scott. I don't think I have 100% Scott, but I have very close. Overall lineup ownership to Scott is 98% tonight. So that's as of right now, right? Obviously, things can change. The ownership on Scott is clearly going to be high. I seem to be above it right now. I mean, if you want to fade him, that's fine. I don't think it's a bad idea to fade him. A highly owned player on a Showdown slate where Corey Clement could be a nice leverage spot off of him. So I think that they're both in play. I have Corey Clement ownership as well. I don't have any Corey Clement in the captain spot, but I think Corey Clement's a nice pivot option. I have 5 captains currently in my 150s. Zachary McFadden donates $5 Rooskies to the stream and my sub. He says, my man, enjoy the evening. Let's win some $1 Rooskies. What's up, man? How you doing, Zach? Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. Too kind, too kind. In a 20 max, how many captains should I be limiting it to? It all really depends on your risk aversion, right? I would probably in a 20 max play 2 to 3. If you want to just go all in on one, I really don't think there's a problem with that. Obviously, you realize that you're being a lot more risky there. You're setting yourself up for all boom or bust, right? Your captain doesn't do anything or he gets hurt, something like that. You're dead for the night, but you just have a lot more upside to try and leverage the field. Now, if you're playing all 20 lineups, you're kind of in the same leverage spot as the field anyways. So I'd probably go 2 to 3 more times than not. If you have 4, if you have like a fourth guy that's in 1 or 2 of the lineups, don't go crazy about it, but 2 or 3, normally what I would be doing there. Looking at some of these questions right now. I can't get this shit to work. All right, there we go. Graham Gano is going to be a lock tonight, somebody says. Yeah, the kickers are firmly in play. Low total game, that's when the kickers come out to shine a little bit more. A lock is a stretch, but I'm getting more kickers than I normally do. Yes, I'm getting both at a pretty healthy clip. Texas in the house. Defense for both teams, question mark. What's up, Texas? How's it going? Yeah, so I got the defenses tonight. Not in a lot with like both lineups. I think I got to set a rule right now. I don't have any rules set against getting both kickers in the same lineup as of right now, but I assume I'm going to set that right now. So I'm just going to set a limit rule. So just limit kickers from the same game to 1. You don't have to do this. It's just what I'm doing, right? This is not the correct way to go about it. I just would rather do this. And then kickers and defenses from the same game to 2 players. So I don't want to get 3 there. Overall defenses, I'll let lineups get to 2 of them if they really want to. I think that both of these offensive lines can get there. Quarterbacks have been obviously playing faulty, but there are some cheap options. Not really dirt cheap options, but, there's a Richard Rodgers, Deshaun Jackson range that can get you there that are around that kicker price range. Sal's, Richard Rodgers worth putting in a cash picks. You're playing a cash lineup tonight. I don't think Richard Rodgers is like the way that you start those lineups. I think that he's fine, right? Operating as a tight end 1. I don't think he's the way you start those lineups. I think that Richard Rodgers, and obviously Ertz being out, actually helps Greg Ward more than Richard Rodgers, if that makes sense, just in terms of overall usage that they'll see from volume. That's at least how I'm projecting it. Slayton or Scott for my captain in a single entry. I will be going with Scott there. I'll go with Scott there. Scott's going to be the guy that I want. Scott is looking like my top play on Super Draft, my top play in a lot of spots tonight. But expect a lot of ownership to Scott. I'm just going to come in close to double the field on it. Scott's captain ownership, I expect to come in like 4 times the field. As of right now. I mean, some things can change. I got to set some of these rules up a little bit sharper before we get in. Shepard is officially in. Perfect. That's how I was projecting it. I assume that the Giants released that on their Twitter. I've been trying to refresh their page. Haven't seen anything, but cool. Fade Fulgrim. I am not fading Fulgrim right now. Let me run this new crunch so I can give you the most updated stuff. I'm going to run this new crunch right now just with these kicker rules in. I'm also going to set some rules for limiting running backs. People are going to ask me questions on that. Corey Clement is actually expensive, so I think I'm going to limit the running back usage to just 1 from the same team. So meaning basically what you're going to get there is, I think these lineups are crunching. That's why it's not letting me do anything. Yeah, all right. So if I limit the running backs, basically what that means is if I'm limiting it to 1, I wasn't expecting to get 2 Giants anyway. So I'm basically just trying to limit the running backs from Corey Clement and Boston Scott to not get 2 of them. I think on a Showdown slate you can do that. You're obviously being unique in doing that, but the price points aren't that favorable on both of them, right? You have a expensive Boston Scott, and it's not even like Corey Clement is priced down to like the 3K range. He's $5,200. So for them both to pay off, they would really have to rely on the running game. Like even like the Darrell Williams usage with the Chiefs running the most that they've ever ran under Andy Reid, right? With that Clyde Edwards-Helaire stuff. Darrell Williams has a decent game in a showdown. He gets like 9.5, 10 fantasy points, but at this price point of $5,200, that might not even be enough for Corey Clement if they're both in a lineup. Mark Pearson donates $5 Rooskies to the stream. He says, I won $700 on Lucky Knife Fight. Thanks for letting me know about the site. Awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah, go sign up over there. I'm not even kidding. They are a fantastic sponsor. Been a very long sponsor. Stuck with me and us in this brand all throughout the pandemic. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Not even any potential risks of them trying to drop me as a partner. So shout out them. How do you feel about Wayne Gallman plus 10 fantasy point prop bet versus Devonta Freeman? I can let you know right now. I would take Devonta Freeman there. I have Wayne Gallman. He doesn't even get onto my projections because he's not projected for more than like 0.3 points. So, I mean, obviously he can catch a pass and easily crush that projection that I have, but I'm not projecting him to be on the field much. So, yeah, I would take Devonta Freeman. How much Boston Scott a captain tonight? Highest exposure for you? Yeah, he's my highest exposure right now, but let's see what happens after I just reran these lineups. So he's still my highest exposure. It really didn't change much. I have him in most of my captain lineups, and by most I mean majority, 50+% right now. How many uniques do you run in a Showdown slate? Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be setting rules where you stack and things like that, you can start to set like rules for like 2-3 uniques, but like 1 or 2 uniques is still fine, in my opinion. It just really depends what you're trying to do here. So, like, obviously, it's going to make your lineups a little bit more differentiated, but it could also actually ruin the overall projection on them, especially if you're going to be setting lineups in like max salaries that are below like 49,500. So you're already kind of building in some uniqueness. So I usually start with 1 unique, then I'll go to 2, depending on if I have any rules set, group set, things like that for stacking on a showdown slate. But then from there, I basically will see what's happening with like top projected lineups, right? If I'm getting too many cut out and they're not spending a lot of the salary, I'll just use it on 1 for that night. So it really depends. What's the numbers on Evan Ingram? I haven't projected for close to like 10 fantasy points. I assume that Evan Ingram will probably come into this slate with pretty average ownership relative to his upside. But yeah, we haven't seen it, right? We haven't seen anything for Evan Ingram. He's running all the routes. Like, something is going to click. The usage that he's getting, they're just not throwing a ton per game right now with Daniel Jones. Like, not that much at all. This matchup, in my opinion, is fine. Like, Slay's been meh. He's like 40th overall in cornerback, so that's very meh as your top cornerback. Robbie Coleman in the slot, their new addition, who I thought was going to be good, has been bad. So, I mean, this is a fine matchup for a lot of these Giants pass catchers. It just depends on if they have time, and I don't know how much time they're going to have, right? This is the 32nd ranked offensive line in pass protection against the number 3 pass rush in the Eagles, who arguably, if you look at certain metrics for pressure, are number 1. So, like, that's the issue for guys downfield in Slayton tonight. That's why Slayton's price point, although I think that he'll probably be under-owned, like, relative to some of the other guys priced up, I'm still not that interested in Darius Slayton today. I'm actually considering full fading Slayton. Obviously, like I just said, that the Eagles' cornerbacks aren't the greatest. Like, I don't even think Slay is that great in terms of shutting somebody down. But, yeah, like I don't really trust this offensive line protection, and Slayton's going to need that unless he scores a couple red zone touchdowns. So I'm debating just fully fading Slayton because I don't like him as a play tonight relative to his price point. He doesn't grade out. Like, projection-wise, he grades out decent, but if you're talking about value, there's like another 10 guys on the slate that I'd rather play than Slayton. And right now, Slayton, I don't get him in my captain spot, but I do get like 12% overall, so I might as well just fade that and see what happens. How much Shepard are you going to have? I'm currently at a nice 0. I have about 15% last time I checked. Who do you pair with Daniel Jones? Yeah, man. If you're gonna put a group together on a showdown slate, I'm also fine pairing the running backs usually, right? I will never pair Devonta Freeman on a main slate with Daniel Jones, but on a showdown slate, like, you don't need the correlation to actually hit as much. But if you're talking about for correlation in groups, yeah, you pair Evan Ingram, you pair Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, and Golden Tate. That's basically it. Now, basically, with Shepard being active, like this Austin Mack character, there's no need to even consider him. So, like, Austin Mack's down here. We're not yet to that part of this. Somebody asked about the backup tight ends for the Eagles. Your guess is as good as mine. I guess we have the actives and inactives, so we'll know if Chrome or Butler, if these guys are even on the goddamn team right now. So let me pull up the Eagles Twitter page. Let's see if they posted their inactives yet for tonight. Technically, you're supposed to post them by 2 minutes from now, so we shall see. So inactives officially come out in 2 minutes. We'll know by then who, like, this starting tight end, or like if we get news that one of these two guys is not active between Butler and Chrome. Also, Butler is a former wide receiver. I think last year was drafted, or the year before that. I think last year by the Cardinals. So had skill sets, but now listed as a tight end. Yeah, these guys are interesting. They're appealing. We know how much the Eagles use 2 tight end sets. If they get away from that, it obviously helps Greg Ward the most. If they don't, it would help one of these two guys to maybe run like 15 or 20 routes at $200 and potentially fall into just the end zone. So I'm going to be watching the inactives. If one of them is not active, that can give us maybe a little bit of a leeway into who the other one is, or if there's any type of news on maybe who's lining up in some 2 tight end sets starting on the field. How's your golf swing, Sal? Yeah, I wanted to go play some golf today, but like by the time that I was done with some stuff, it was already like 4:35 around there. And then by the time I got back, it was either going to be golf or don't do the stream. So I came here for the people. So I'm going to try and maybe golf tomorrow. Golf swing, though, 6 iron and like just iron play is decent. Driver, I literally can't even hit it. So I got to figure that out. Do you have anybody in PGA this weekend? Yes, I do. Jock Market and Draftkings I'm playing. Fade Fulgham, question mark? I'm not going to fade Fulgham. No, he looks really good, especially with Alshon now ruled out. The role is just, I thought it was already cemented. I think it's still cemented. He's my 3rd highest owned captain, and I have a lot of these Eagles wide receivers right now. The Eagles wide receivers is like all I'm getting from most wide receivers. You think Wentz is better start this week instead of Big Ben at the Titans? I have Big Ben projected for more currently. So I'm going to be getting more Big Ben there. Any Hightower or Arcega Whiteside? I have some for the savings. Arcega Whiteside interest for me. Hightower, no interest either. He's going to go back into a backup role now. So, they're both backups, right? You're expecting maybe Hightower runs 6 to 8 routes. Arcega-Whiteside might run a couple of routes, right? 4 wide receiver sets, something like that. I'm not expecting much there, though. I think that my laptop's just overheated. I think I need to just shut it down, shut all the screens off next to it, and go from there. It's everything is just starting to get fucked up. The more and more that I hear it trying to cool down. It's probably not breathing. I pick it up from here. Sal is legit the people's champ. Hey, what's up? Yeah, so I like Butler's skill set too coming out, right? He got hurt, had some issues, and then he got dropped. There's a chance that we're going to be having an issue right now with this Wi-Fi again. It's not, actually, it's not the Wi-Fi. I think it's just either YouTube. I really do think it's YouTube. My laptop's made this noise before, and it's fine. It's just kind of breathing. How many times does Hurts touch the ball tonight? I would guess 2 to 3. I know they said they want to get him more involved. I mean, does that just mean more involved than his one touch? I really don't know. Maybe they can do some wildcat shit and touch the ball 4 or 5 times. He's still priced as a normal quarterback, though, so I don't know how you would play him. How much Sterling Shepard tonight? I got about 15%. That might be high, but I'm fine with it. Richard Rodgers or Tate? I'll prefer Tate. Do you have cash left over? Yeah, all my lineups are going to have at least $800 left over. Somebody says lag. Yeah, get over it. No, it has nothing to do with the Wi-Fi. Your boy pays for that triple digits Wi-Fi a month. Favorite prop bet, Sal? Yeah, I like Boston Scott's props, and I like some of these quarterbacks unders. Just blowing your laptop, somebody says. Yeah, I don't know what it is. This is the first time I've ever had this issue, so I think it's just overheating or something. Or it honestly probably is YouTube. I've never had this issue before. It's not doing anything crazy. It doesn't feel super warm, so I think it's fine. You need a computer that can keep up with your brain. Man, we got the top of the line iMac. I can't keep up with this thing's brain. Any interest in Mac with Shepard now in? I didn't even have any interest with him out. I mentioned him in the video, but I was getting 0% still. Because, I think he sucks. So, I don't want to be playing a guy who sucks against quality NFL cornerbacks. So, yeah, no interest in Mac. Deshaun Jackson projection. Yeah, I have Deshaun Jackson projected for... Yo, 11 fantasy points. Yeah, all the projections rankings down below. What are you doing not being a patron, right? You're getting all this free content. Show you boys some love. Keep the business booming. Ability to maybe hire an employee or more contractors. Get even more content up there for you from other peeps. Get them to do some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. Somebody says Boston Scott. Yeah, Boston Scott looks good. Is Freeman a fade? I'm not actively trying to fade him. Let's see if I have less of him, though. So, I'm getting way more Scott, so it's going to probably push me towards less Freeman. Yeah, I'm going to be below the field on Freeman, but it's nothing against Freeman. I actually might be above the field on him in captain, about around the field. So, I'm right around the field, maybe a little bit above it. My man Sam French pretty much pays $20 a month just to hear me say this one word. It's crazy. I'm going to never have an issue being a content creator, right? The more and more we grow, the more and more Sams that come out and support us for saying some words. This might be my brand, right? We might have to play out for the golf. We got the golf videos going back this week, but he said it needs to hear you say "Gyalf." He said my laptop will do a little bit better if we can just say "Gyalf" with it, right? What up, Sam? I appreciate you. Whenever I connect multiple screens for my laptop, it lags a ton. Yeah, I got 2 screens up. I just started using 2 screens 10 days ago or so, so maybe it's partially that, but we've done 4 or 5 streams with that. It hasn't been an issue. Somebody says, is your keyboard very warm, Sal? Yeah, relatively. It's pretty, this thing could definitely use a turn it off and just let it sleep. I usually just leave it up open all day with the chargers and all the things hooked up. Somebody give me an absolute long shot GPP lineup that'll be first or last. Yeah, you're going to want to put Aaron Rodgers in the captain spot. And if you could fit Nick Boyle in one of those flex spots, I'd go there. But if you want a really low-owned lineup that might help you out, probably put Caden Smith in the captain, Hightower, Mack, Butler, Lewis, and I think if you can get Jake Elliott in there, you should be good. Nobody will probably own that one. Scott or Slate? Scott, how would you approach a single-entry GPP for this slate? That's a good question. I don't play single-entry 3-max on these showdown slates because I really don't think that there's a great leverage point. But the way that you want to approach it is just doing what you don't think that your opponents are going to do. You don't want to build a lineup. Obviously, there's an extent to this, right? You're not going to put the lineup that I just bullshitted about, all these shitty players in there. But you don't want to try and get the highest projected lineup in the single entry and 3 max. I mean, you never really want to, but how I would build it for a showdown slate is literally think about what your opponents are going to do and try and do the exact opposite of that. So what I think my opponents are going to do tonight is probably try and captain these quarterbacks. I think the quarterbacks are going to be captain as the highest spots. So just don't captain a quarterback and you're naturally going to be a little bit more different. I think that if you captain Boston Scott, you're not going to be completely unique, but I don't think he'll push 20% ownership. He might push 15% ownership there, but yeah, I mean, I think Boston Scott's a pretty strong captain option, right? Team favorite, 5 points, starting running back, multi-talented, if you will. Outside of that, I think you're going to get a nice low ownership number on the likes of Deshaun Jackson in the captain spot. And if you think Evan Ingram can finally pull one out, I mean, he's being used in a crazy way. So I would say Boston Scott, Evan Ingram, Deshaun Jackson as lower owned captain options. But just not captaining a quarterback or Travis Fulgham is probably going to put you in the minority of captain lineups, which is a good thing, right? Any Caden Smith for you? No. Nope. No Caden Smith. I'm not even getting that much Evan Ingram, like at all, which is a concern. Sal, are both QBs a must? No. I think a lot of people are going to try and play both QBs. If I'm trying to build one lineup that's the optimal, I'm probably not playing both QBs, just to avoid all that ownership. Like these quarterbacks are going to be insanely owned. We had this like 2 weeks ago, right? Everybody wanted to play the quarterbacks in the captain spot, and they didn't pan out. Like this is a type of a slate where I don't ever really condone playing the defenses in the captain spot, but they're not going to be owned. And these quarterbacks are going to be insanely owned. And that's a pretty nice way to get leverage by playing both quarterbacks still, but none of them in the captain spot. Defense gives you a little bit of a cheaper captain option. So I do think defense in the captain spot is definitely in play tonight. Not in a major way because you have a lot of cheap opportunity type plays. Like Deshaun Jackson's too cheap tonight. Greg Ward is pretty cheap in my opinion. Sterling Shepard's pretty cheap. So it's tougher to want to get there completely. Sean S. donates $5 with a little emoji. It says number 1. Too kind, my man. Would you rather start Wentz this week or Herbert? Herbert. Do you have any captain Deshaun Jackson? I do, sir. I do. A good amount. Scott popped off last year against the Giants and was a confirmed starter. Yeah, I mean, Scott's a good running back. He's a good backup. Week 1, he gets hurt in the third quarter, banged up. They're facing a good Washington defensive line with a bad offensive line. So, I mean, similar things are happening tonight. Like the Giants' run defense has been, I would say, give and take. Some games it's decent. Some games it's not this year. I wouldn't say solid. But I think Boston Scott's a good running back. I think more times than not he gets to the projection that I have for him, which is going to be upwards of one of the highest projected players on the slate. And when that's actually, like when I'm projecting Boston Scott for this high of a projection and his ownership isn't reflecting that, especially in the captain spot, like he's still owned, but based on the projection that I had, I thought Scott was going to be the highest owned player and highest owned captain. And he's not going to be really anywhere near that, maybe half as owned as some of those high up guys. Like right now, Scott, for me, out of all the players that are above the price point of $1,600, right, before you get into like those really cheap guys who it's easy for them to have a good value rating tonight because of their low salary, everybody above $1,600, my best value play is Boston Scott, like point per dollar upside. So I was expecting to see him a lot higher owned. So I'm going to be leveraging Scott. I'm going to be 4 or 5 times the field in the captain spot. I'm going to, I believe, push 100% ownership overall. I think I got 99% Scott right now. I don't feel bad about that, right? Like I'm not wagering the amount of money that if I lost every single dollar tonight, that I would hate myself, that I would feel like I just blew up my DFS bankroll. And I also think that I'm playing this pretty decently. Like it's pretty rare that you see a play that you actually think is really good projection wise and nobody wants to own him. Like you don't even have to pivot or try and get unique. You're being somewhat unique just by getting over the field on him. Chrome is the Nick Boyle of tonight's game, mark my word. Yeah, I know, but it could just be Hakeem Butler, right? So the inactives and actives should be out. Let me go over to the Eagles page right now and see what we got going. Somebody says scroll down, please. There you go. Does that help? Let me know if that got everything. Scott's ceiling is very low. Ooh, Scott's ceiling is very low? I mean, I have Scott's ceiling in the 30s, so upper 20s, low 30s. So I would consider that Scott's ceiling is arguably the highest on the slate tonight. Under 13.5 rush attempts for Scott, I would not bet that. Like my numbers are right on that. Scott and Freeman, question mark? That seems fine. Ingram and Ward or Freeman and Richard Rodgers? I'll go Ingram and Ward. Ingram or Freeman? I have a higher projection on Freeman. He's going to be higher owned. Ingram's going to be very low owned tonight. Ingram is a very nice GPP play tonight, so if you have a chalky lineup, I would go Ingram, even if it leaves money on the table too. Ingram is cheaper, I believe. No, he's actually $600 more, so I guess if you're going to spend all your money, go Devonta Freeman to leave money. Otherwise, I would go Ingram. Do you like Devonta Freeman? I'm around the field on Devonta Freeman. I don't have a really strong grasp on him. He's going to be touchdown dependent, right? He's running some routes, but like, look, he might be seeing the overall usage there. All the touches last week, right, on Sunday. Now short week for him, aging guy. But he ran 11 routes. Like, he saw 2 targets, but he ran 11 routes. Like, they didn't throw a lot either, so you could probably count on Freeman for like 15 routes. I don't know if he's going to hit 20. So he's very one-dimensional. This is a good Eagles run defense. I would say middle of the pack. It's worse than last year right now. But, yeah, Freeman, I'm fine. I'm around the field. I don't have a really strong take. Do you see Clement being a red zone threat? He can get some touches, yeah. I think that Clement could see some touches. I think Scott is the primary guy, but I think that Clement would be a lot easier of a pivot if he was not $5,200. Like, Clement is pretty much priced right now, based on his price point, for a 6 to 8 touch roll. So if he's priced for like a 6 to 8 touch roll on a Showdown slate, or arguably like an 8 to 10 touch roll, it's hard to really want to get to Corey Clement at that price tag, which I'm not getting to much. Like, I assume I'm below the field on Corey Clement right now. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm above the field. No, I'm definitely below the field. So I'm going to be below the field on Corey Clement. It's just tough to want to get there at his price tag. You have to actively force or bump his projection. Richard Rodgers as the captain. I actually don't have any Richard Rodgers captain, but I do. That's a lie. I got 3 lineups. So I think Richard Rodgers has upside. It's going to probably be touchdown upside, but this is a quality tight end, right? He's had pretty big games as a like 1A, 1B in a Packers offense in the past. Never really did much with the Lions. Is never really a primary feature ever for tight ends in that offense. But in this offense, this would be the spot to get him going. I would have concerns that they try and go 2 tight end set or not go as much 2 tight end sets. Maybe Rodgers stays on the field, maybe he doesn't, and they just go with more 3 wide receiver sets, which is where Greg Ward gets his involvement. But if they get the lead, maybe they just run it, keep him on the field. Remember, Scott's playing week 1 without Sanders. So James points out week 1, Boston Scott. I mean, to me, that doesn't really matter. Week 1, he got hurt in the 3rd quarter. Didn't come back to the 4th quarter where he was unlimited. So week 1's tough to judge anything from that. And it's also a 1-game sample size. So to like avoid a guy who has a clearly great spot because of a week 1, like just 10 fantasy points instead of the 17 or 18 we wanted when he got hurt for a quarter and a half. I mean, it's tough. Love the fresh cuts out. Thanks. Yeah, I had to go to the alternative barber. My main one's out of town, so this one's okay. I'm leaving 10K on the table. Defense and kickers. Uh-oh. Best of luck. Who gets more receiving yards, Fulgham or Slate? I have Fulgham by a decent amount. Any Green Bay quarterbacks tonight? Yeah, I would be going with Bart Starr. Crowder or Beasley? Crowder. Rodgers or Ward? I would be going with Ward. Any info on Shepard limited? ? Not that I'm seeing. I'm trying to pull up any. Let's go back to these Eagles and Giants pages. So the Eagles inactives tonight: Miles Sanders, Jeffrey, Nate Sudfeld, Quez Watkins is inactive. So the person asking about him, I mentioned that with Deshaun Jackson back, he might not even step on the field. He's not going to step on the field. But both Crom, it seems that both Crom and Butler are going to be active tonight. New York Giants inactives tonight. CJ Board, he got hurt in that last game. That's basically all I need to know. Eric Tomlinson, the tight end, but he hasn't been playing. So no surprise inactives, I would say. I mean, unless you were thinking that Quez Watkins was going to see a bump up. What's your percentage of Jones and Wentz in the flex? 64% Wentz, 63% Jones. I'll probably be below the field on both. You think Jackson will get good playing time tonight? Yes, I think he's fully healthy. I think he's been healthy for about a week now. Is Shepard playing? Yes. Thoughts on the Eagles' defense? I have 20%. I like them more than the Giants' defense. I think they're a pretty quality play. I don't have any captain ownership to the Eagles' defense, but I think you could put them there if you wanted to. David Johnson or Boston Scott? Boston Scott. 5 Eagles and 1 Giant in a Showdown ? Seems fine if you're going to be playing an onslaught build. Just make sure if you're going 5 Eagles and 1 Giant, you kind of set that up properly. Maybe a Giant wide receiver in the captain spot, assuming that they're going to have to play from behind, right? Maybe having the Eagles defense in there with some Eagles running backs. Like if you're going 5 wide receiver or 5 Eagles and a Giant, normally that means that there's some sort of onslaught one way or the other. So that's how I would try and build that lineup up. Speaking of which, I want to change some of my general rules. I don't know if I want to run any onslaughts tonight, but I kind of want to get some of these defenses. I'm going to try and bump up the randomness on these defenses to see if any of them pop up into the captain spot. So let's bump up the randomness on the defenses. I mean, they're not projecting out for anything crazy, but let me bump up these randomnesses a little bit. Nothing crazy. And let's see if we get any when we recrunch. 2 kickers in 1 lineup. I won't be running that tonight. 2 quarterbacks play. So if you're playing cash games, yeah, I would go 2 quarterbacks in your lineups. I'd probably put them both in the flex spot, not the captain spot. Try and get Boston Scott in the captain or something along those lines, or a wide receiver. But I don't think you have to do it. I think most people are going to do it tonight. Like, you have to just try and think more about what your opponents are going to do. Jonathan Bales just wrote a really good refresher. I read most of his books, which is where some of this logic comes from, some of it done experience. But he just wrote a really good refresher on his newsletter about the optimal way to play, and the edges that you want to really be finding are obviously the plays, the ownership, all that. And ownership is the biggest one. And just really thinking about lineup construction of what your opponents are going to do. So that you can kind of leverage off of that, right, and get unique just in that way. So what are your opponents going to do tonight? I think most lineups are going to contain both quarterbacks. They're both relatively cheap. They both project out decently on a slate where there's not the greatest overall upside in a lot of these plays. So I would say that, I don't know, lineups that have both quarterbacks tonight, maybe 25%. If both these quarterbacks are going to be pushing 65, 70% ownership, 30% of these lineups have both quarterbacks, 35, somewhere around there. So just by playing a lineup that doesn't, you're automatically just kind of getting different than those guys, or just not playing them in the captain spot where they'll probably be around 40% owned overall quarterbacks in the captain spot tonight. Could you see Jalen Hurts ending up with 10 points? If Jalen Hurts ended up with 10 points, I think he's a bad play. He's still priced with the quarterbacks, right? So it's tough, right? Like tonight, how expensive is Jalen Hurts? I deleted him from all the stuff I'm doing. I guess I could look on Fantasy Cruncher. Jalen Hurts is $6,000. So I guess 10 points is not a bad play. It's definitely not a guaranteed to do anything for you. I have right now Deshaun Jackson projected for 11. He's at 5,800. If he got 11, I would say that's a quality play. So I guess 10's okay for Hurts. Do I see him getting it? No. Nope. Your top two projected wide receivers, straight up points projected wide receivers, just straight up points. I mean, it's Travis Fulgham and it's Darius Slayton, so the ones that you would expect, but value-wise, Slayton's nowhere near that. Somebody says Hall of Fame. Hey, shout out Drake. Pick up Antonio Brown or Dez Bryant in season long. I would go Antonio Brown. Dez Bryant has a ways to go, and even if he gets on the field in that offense, they make Marquise Hollywood Brown look like a dog shit fantasy wide receiver based on the amount. I know, he gets all the air yards, Sal. All right, they throw 25 times a game. Lamar looks terrible in a passing perspective, and he gets 4 targets a game. So I don't think Dez is going to be your fantasy savior. I like Dez a lot, though. Djax over 30.5 yards. Even money. Thoughts? No bet for me. I have him at about 36. What's the most accurate game script you think this game could flow? The most accurate game flip script is what Vegas is telling you, but that's also the exact thing that most people are probably going to build towards, if anything. So it's probably not going to help you that the game stays close. The Eagles pull away a little bit. It's a neutral game script. Neutral game script means everybody's involved. Devonta Freeman sees a total of 16 touches. Boston Scott sees a total of 18 to 20 touches, right? The quarterbacks throw 35 times a piece, with maybe Daniel Jones throwing a little bit more down the stretch to hit 40, right? Neutral game script pulls away late. That's the Vegas game script that you're seeing, but that's one that most people are going to be projecting for based on that. How are you submitting lineups on DK now? Every time I try to enter within the last hour, the contest is full. I'm all reserved. I reserved these lineups early in the day. Empire Maker on RPS YouTube tomorrow. Tune in if you into DFS. This is Tyson versus Roy Jones. I don't know what RPS is, but is that streaming service or something? No, you said YouTube. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but yeah, I saw some of the stuff on Twitter. It seems interesting. I don't know. I don't care too much. Honestly, really don't care. Highest owned Giants wide receiver for me is Sterling Shepard. Fulgham tonight or Brandon Cooks against Green Bay? I will be going with Fulgham. Take the points on Thursday Night Football, somebody says. Yeah, I took the points on Viget, which if you watched my video earlier for betting, Viget's a new sponsor of the channel. Pretty awesome. It's a social media app, social media sports betting app. It's like the Twitter for sports betting, so it's pretty cool. If you want to download it, it's totally free to download. And if you want to download and get 1,000 Viget coins, they're not even sponsoring this video, but it's just fun. I think it's pretty cool to get. You can get Viget coins, which you can win Amazon gift cards and stuff like that just through sports betting. So if you're in a legal state, you could actually do it because it's not money-based. It is Viget coins-based, credit-based, but it's pretty cool. Win real prizes, all that type of stuff. Vegas does not seem to get bad even games wrong a bit. Yeah, Vegas sets the line. The market then sets the actual finish. So when you're in a barbershop and the people are like, Vegas is so good. They're good. They know they're experienced in this, right? But they're just setting a market. I could probably get pretty close to what the Vegas lines are going to set each week, if not right on for most of the games. So You just know what these guys are going to set based on just historical data, all this other stuff. But then the market actually sets the final line, right? Well, that's why you see the Steelers line moving 2 points. So like the market is actually what's good at this, right? Like the New York Stock Exchange is not, oh, the New York Stock Exchange is so good at pricing companies. No. It's the market that is good at pricing companies. Because if there's an inefficiency, well, then that will get cured by buying or selling, right? That's basically what happens in the sports market. So next time you're in the barbershop, tell somebody that, and they'll be like, you're such a dick, get out of here. And then you're good to go. Sal, who's your 100 yards and a TD pick tonight? Boston Scott. What's up, guys? What's going on, Aiden? Slayton or Shepard? This game starts in like an hour. Pretty cool. Nice. Viget, somebody says. Yeah, Viget. It's just a sports betting app. Yep, you spelled it right. Correct. If you when you sign up, if you use Sal, you'll get 1,000 Viget coins. But it's basically you can just talk about sports betting on there, and then they also have like a whole section of like information about the lines and stuff, like line movement, data, injury reports, all this stuff that's really quick just for me, like data reasons why. It's like an enhanced Twitter for what I'm looking for information for these games. But then you could also make some bets in there as well. Who do you like more in the captain, Fulgham or Scott? Scott. Who sees more Bradbury, Djax or Fulgham tonight? I think that you're probably going to see Fulgham on more Bradbury, but I know Bradbury's been very good this year, like at times the best cornerback according to Pro Football Focus. I'm not really concerned about that. Like, Fulgham took on every single Ravens cornerback last week, which pretty damn impressive if you ask me. So, like, the matchup can go either way tonight. I don't think Bradbury will shut him down. Bradbury has been very good this year, right? He's allowing just a 55% catch rate, less than a yard per coverage route, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be a shadow matchup. Like last year, Bradbury never really fully shadowed. He faced guys like DJ Shark, who honestly torched him, played against him like 50% of the time. So I think Fulgham will see more Bradbury. I don't think it's going to be like anything insane, like shadow, like 80% of the time. You rarely see that. Even like Stephon Gilmore is not shadowing guys 90% of the time. Like a shadow matchup, more times than not, is like a guy is guarding another guy, like hits maybe 70% of the time, right? But I think it'll be Fulgham. I think that you're probably going to see Deshaun and some Ryan Lewis, which is a great spot for Deshaun. I think Deshaun has a lot of upside tonight. Sal, sorry I'm late. How you doing, brother? How are you doing? What's up, Will? What's your thoughts on the Eagles' defense tonight? I got 20%. It looks pretty good. We got 1,000+ people in here. Yo, what are y'all doing? What y'all doing on your Thursday night? Playing a little DFS, doing a little sports betting. What's up? Shepard or Freeman for you tonight? I got more Freeman. You high on Greg Ward tonight? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This guy says, Sal, pick a lane. Who's the number one player in the world? Thoughts? This opens Pandora's box. Best on best. Love this shit. Number one player in the world. Like, for sports? What you talking about? For DFS? I literally don't even know. I don't know anything about Empire Maker. I know that Awesomo's fantastic. I studied some of Empire Maker's lineups in the past, but I really don't care. Like, something against both of them. I've done some shows with Alex. I like Alex. I don't know anything about this Empire Maker guy. He clearly is very good. I know he's won a Millie Maker, so he's clearly good, right? But I really don't care. Like the DFS drama and all that stuff, if you go to my Twitter, I follow like 70 people. I literally follow people because I either do shows with them and I like them personally, or I just need information from Fantasy Labs for NBA. Like, I work in the DFS space because that's the content that I like. I enjoy playing it. Could care less about other people in the DFS space just in terms of like drama or what other people are doing. Really don't give a shit. Somebody says Philly or New York. Overall, I mean, I was more so born and raised in New York. I might maybe try and consider moving back to the Northeast soon. We have to figure that out. Need somebody's input. Melvin Gordon or Freeman? I would go with Freeman there. Both kind of stink. Few likes for this young man can go a long way. Support him with a like, says Sean. Sean, you're too kind. I appreciate that. Yeah, hit the like button. Thank you. Thank you in advance. Ingram trash, does nothing. Yeah, that's the exact reason why he's a good play tonight. I mean, I'm not getting a lot. He's not projected for much, but Evan Ingram is way lower owned than he should be. If Evan Ingram would have scored a touchdown last week, 3 catches, 30 yards, and a touchdown, right? Puts up 12 or 13 fantasy points, he'd probably be 15 or 20% higher tonight. The amount of routes and snaps this guy's playing is insane. The issue is his quarterback's under pressure so damn much. His quarterback's running more now. But he's running so many routes. Evan Ingram has no interest at all in blocking. He's running around on 99% of the dropbacks of Daniel Jones. That is insane usage, right? That's like wide receiver 1, DeAndre Hopkins type usage in terms of how often you're running a route. Eventually, that's going to end up in touchdowns. Eventually, that's going to end up in usage. It just hasn't yet, and that's pissing off a lot of people. So I think Evan Ingram's fine. Hit the like, fellas. Yeah. You like Daniel Jones? Yeah, I think Daniel Jones has got to get like 60+%. Would you take Giants for +7? Yeah, +7's a good line. Unless you're buying those points, I wouldn't. But, I mean, I think like the actual line's +5 right now, so that seems pretty good. What is Ingram's ownership? Ingram's ownership tonight, or like projected ownership? I mean, I think Evan Ingram is going to. Let's look at some stuff. Evan Ingram might be in the 20s. Maybe touches the 30, somewhere around there, 25, 30%. Everyone who's asking about Sunday. Yikes. Do you max out entries in the big tournament in DK or more single entries? I max out entries. So for Showdown Slate, I don't play single entry at 3 max. I just don't like it. Sometimes I do if I feel really good about the slate. Like see something that I don't think a lot of people are, which would be tonight with Boston Scott, but right now I'm not. I don't max out the big tournament. I did like a couple weeks ago on a Millie Maker after we came off of our big week 3 it was, or week 4 win. I think it was week 4, the 18K almost, 17.7K. But I won't max out the big tournament. I just personally don't have interest in doing that. I don't have interest in playing $1,500 or $3,000 in a contest with 100,000 people. I mean, I just don't have interest in that. I have interest in main slate, single entry, and 3 max is where I prefer. But I play 150s in like the 50 cent, $1, $3, and sometimes $5 if they have one. Why no Richard Rodgers? I have Richard Rodgers. What you talking about? What you talking about, boy? Richard Rodgers is a yes on my screen, boy. Boy. I usually only do big tournaments. Doing a single entry tonight. Do I need to approach with a different strategy? Yeah, everybody has the same amount of lineups, right? Single entry. Everybody's got one lineup, so you have to actually think now more so, what are people going to do in their one lineup more times than not, and how can I leverage off of that? And if whatever they're doing, what is it that's the direct leverage off of that, right? If they're putting quarterbacks in the captain, which I think a lot of people are, maybe not majority, but a lot of people are tonight, what is the leverage off of that? The leverage off of that is probably not putting the quarterbacks in the captain and putting one of their wide receivers in there who has a way higher ceiling and hits that ceiling more often than a quarterback. I'm a Patreon now. Let's make some money, says Jason Haley. Hey, yo, round of applause for Jason. Appreciate that. Somebody said something about my mic. It's going to high to low or whatever. Yeah, I got a shitty mic. I like a $50 mic. I really need to upgrade to a whatever, an XLR mic, all that type of stuff, get an interface. It's a big hassle, so I'll do it at some point. But Alex the Great, if you want to reach out to me via my email or DMs or Twitter or something like that, let me know, and you can help me walk through the steps. I know what I need. I know all the products that I need to get a new, better mic setup. This is just easy, the USB one, but clearly it's not the greatest. But I don't think it's as bad as it could be. Got to get some compression software for your mic. Yeah, whatever. I don't know what any of that is, but I could easily learn. DFS drama is so funny. People get caught up in the feelings about this. I mean, we literally all die in the end, right? We literally all die in the end. And I do have, I would say friends in the DFS space, but that I've never met in person, right? Just like through work. But I have friends in real life, and I have real life matters that I think actually matter rather than people in just like the Twitter space, right? Whoever it is, I really don't care about like drama in general. Definitely don't care about fantasy sports drama, right? Like, oh, imagine trying to tell your friends about that. Is leaving 1,600 too much? Not at all. I think I like Hightower, but what do you think? I think that Hightower is now the direct backup to Deshaun Jackson, which probably means he runs single-digit routes, if that. Deshaun Jackson's back. Hightower's the direct backup, right? So I doubt you see really any Hightower on the field. He's obviously going to play, but it could be very little routes. It could be like 6 routes tonight for Hightower. So for somebody who wasn't really doing much with his 30-plus routes already as a rookie, nothing against him, right? He's a rookie. I probably am not going to be going back to the well with Hightower. Let's see what he did in week 1. Was it when did Djax get hurt? Week 2? Let's see what he did in week 1, Hightower, basically when Djax was healthy. So Hightower ran week 1 when Djax was healthy. Jalen Reagor was also healthy then, and Fulgham wasn't on the team. So this is so hard to pinpoint, right? He ran 19 routes that week. The week after that, he did not run any single routes, but it's hard to judge with like Fulgham now being in the picture, right? The week after that, he ran 50 routes, but that's the week that Deshaun Jackson got hurt. Fulgham's still not in the picture. So yeah, I would say Hightower might run like 10 routes tonight. Maybe gets to 15 if they have to throw a little bit more. Austin Mack, somebody says, yeah, no interest now with Sterling Shepard back. I know you're talking tonight, but are any Sunday slate questions fair game? Yeah, I mean, I don't have any of my rankings, or I have rankings and projections done for Sunday, but I don't have any of my exposures, like zero. I don't do them until Saturday night, usually Sunday mornings, like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. is when I'll start to do all my exposures and rules. Equipment, a good write-off, Sal, for the business. Oh, yeah, I know. I actually just sat down with my accountant yesterday. Solo 401k, all that stuff. Try and max them puppies out. Facts, Sal, keep it 100. Yeah, you bet. Whiteside or Hightower? The answer is Hightower between those two. But, I mean, I have Hightower projected for 2.9 points. Arcega Whiteside 1. JT top 10 Zozo this weekend. Hey, shout out to Zozo. Would you start any defenses? Yeah, I got ownership to both defenses, more so the Eagles. Greg Ward, a yes for you? Oh, yeah, he is. Oh, yeah, he is. He's a yes for me on Patreon right now. I'm going to make him a yes right here, too. Update this one. What y'all doing this weekend? Where y'all tuning in from? Let me know that. Where y'all tuning in from? Well, we've been live for like 50 minutes. We chilling. What's up? What up? Ward or Corey Clement, one line. Ward. Freeman or Tate? I'll go with Freeman there. Scott or Freeman on a giant stack? Scott. Who gave you that haircut? Stevie Wonder? Yeah, I got a haircut today. My barber's out of town for 3 weeks, so I got a haircut from, I believe, the trainee. I put videos up on Twitter. Honestly, the haircut's not awful by any means, right? I couldn't do this. But my main barber is like the dude there. He's the G. He's way better. But it also didn't cost as much, so I guess you get what you pay for. Sal, do you need a business license of any kind to do what you do? No, I just have an LLC. I don't know what business license means. I just make content and put it on YouTube. You don't need no license. I just grind harder than the rest. Chicago, Philly, Wyoming, Newport, California, Charleston. Hey, we got people all over the place. I want to go to Charleston and Savannah. I want to do like an East Coast trip. Made my first bet on Viget. Got my Sal bonus. Pretty sharp looking app. Yeah, it's a sharp looking app. I think that they might have, don't quote me on this, they might have similar investors. I don't remember. I think I'm thinking of another company. But high up investors either way. Yeah, Viget's pretty cool. Eagles a yes for you. Their defense is a maybe, but I have more of them than the Giants. I have more of them, not more of them than the Kickers, though. Thanks for all your work. Won many times with your advice is setting it all up. Love the golf for sure. Jerry, what's up? Appreciate it. Hopefully you got to see the golf video this week. We got people tuning in from Chicago, Massachusetts. Hey, yo, what up? I don't know for sure, but I might be considering looking into some spots back up in the Northeast where I'm originally from. Like where I am right now, just difficult during still a pandemic when you work from home and move down here as a 23-year-old, now 24. The idea of making friends when everybody else around you either goes into an office or is in college in this area, pretty brutal. So why not go back north to the friends and family? Maybe. Got to see if there's any places worth it. Scranton, PA here. Hey, yo, shout out Scranton. I'm actually from Montrose, Pennsylvania. It's pretty close to where you are. You probably never heard of it, but yeah. If you had to start a wide receiver for the Giants, which would it be? I would start Sterling Shepard. And just know there's a lot of risk there, but I like him. Sal, why do you need an accountant? Waste of money. That is big false. Why do I need an accountant? Waste of money. That is big false. My accountant last year, I believe, saved me probably from the shit that I was projecting my own to what I saved, like close to $30,000. So, yeah, I would rather pay financial advisors and accountants. I think that's a great way to spend money. And he cost me $1,000 for the year, quarterly estimates and doing my taxes, and I get whatever meetings I want. Like, I literally can't think of a better business expense that I have. Sal from Texas wanted to see what you think about the best captain pick, Fogelman, Jackson, or Freeman. I would prefer Jackson out of those three. What's up, Caleb? How you doing? Alabama, nice. Trainee, question mark. Yeah, I've seen the guy in there when my barber usually cuts my hair, just kind of like looking around. He's a young guy. Like, he might not even be my age. He might just be 20, 21. So, like, the kid's learning, right? Like, for what he did to my hair, I can't do this to my hair. Obviously, my barber, who's probably has, like, 20 more years of experience than this kid, is better. Like, that's an obvious. But on Twitter, I was just joking around, giving the guy a hard time. But, no, yeah, the kid's just learning. It's fine. I'm okay to be the test dummy. It's fine. I don't got nowhere to be. I don't got no parties. If I did, I knew the barber wasn't there. If I did, I would have just really made sure that I got somebody else. South Dakota. You don't make enough to need a true accountant. Seems like just a waste. You don't know how much money I make, boy. And I do need a true accountant. Trust me. I mean, what is your guess on how much I make? $60K? Probably try to multiply that by multiple numbers. Freaking awesome, Sal. No state interference. You're a complete entrepreneur. Nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. There's no licenses at all. Newfound Canada. Nice. I said I would be your friend, Sal, says Jason. Yeah, man. I appreciate that. If I met you in person, you'd probably be really cool, but I'm not trying to go on internet dates with the YouTube chat. Can you scroll up on the sheet? Yeah, definitely. That probably sounded harsher than it was. I would probably get beers with people. But yeah. Yo, Sal, I can get your driver right. Yeah, man. Help me out with that shit. I mean, I've only gone to the driving range like 4 or 5 times in the past month and a half, but I can definitely probably go tomorrow, get this shit figured out. People be beeping out there. Yo, you trying to identify where I am? I watched David Letterman, like the my next guest, the Kim K one. I'm gonna watch some of the other ones, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. Those are really good. But the Kim K one was terrifying when like she got robbed at gunpoint in her apartment. Scary that like literally just from her like posting a picture of a ring, people were like fucking all crazy trying to follow her. People saying I'll be friends with you. Look, I got friends. I got a lot of friends, right? I got a shit ton of friends and family. They just not in my immediate area. Love the stream. Long-time subscriber and first-time stream. What's up, my man? Hey, welcome to the stream. Round of applause for you. Any hidden gems in the Northeast people sleep on? That's the issue. Like, I watch so many videos on YouTube on, like, best areas to live and things like that. The Northeast has no hidden gems. Like, at least the PA. So, like, I mean, Pittsburgh might be a hidden gem, but everybody knows about it in terms of, like, cost for, like, what you get there city-wise. But, like, PA, New York, and New Jersey, there's like no hidden gems. Like there's small towns everywhere in Jersey. There's not like major cities in Jersey, right? You're in the suburb of like the biggest city in New York. Like there's small towns and beach towns. Like there's nice areas, but like hidden gems, I mean, maybe you can classify those as hidden gems, but nothing I would classify like crazy. I'm from Charleo. You would love a player. What is that? Southern Ohio. Nice. Slayton or Shepherd? I will be going with Shepherd there personally. Any Huntley in your lineups? No. Thoughts on Tate tonight? Boom or a bust? I believe, below the field on Golden Tate. I'm below the field on Golden Tate, but no strong stance. I think he could be okay. I have 6% Golden Tate, so I'm well below field. So how do you feel about 5-1 Eagle stack tonight? I don't have any, but I think it's okay. You just have to build that lineup correctly. You probably are doing an onslaught, right? So maybe their defense, their running backs, one running back at least, run it back with probably a wide receiver, maybe in the captain spot for the Giants. Just make something work on that one. Huntsville, Alabama. What's up? Accountant is one of the best investments anyone can have. 100% agree. It's not even close. Like, the amount of money that I thought this year I was going to have to put into taxes is not even different. It's just crazy difference just based on all the different ways that you can move around money on paper and make it go into different buckets. If you're an S Corp, LLC, whatever it might be. It's easy, like 5 figures in like savings, close to it. Move to Texas. You can make all the friends you want. Yeah, my girlfriend's parents live in Texas, Austin. It's so fun every time we go. It's really fun. Sal, you are cool. You need a Netflix series, somebody says. Yo, I would do a Netflix series. I would have to be with people I'm comfortable with, but yeah, you don't need an accountant. That guy doesn't make 6 figures, somebody said, right. Are you taking Jackson over Fulgham at receiver? I currently have more Fulgham by 2%. I have more Jackson in the captain spot, though. Depends on your year to year. I would say average of 60K. 60K is when you need to start getting an accountant. I mean, it depends on what your business is. But, yeah, this year we're going to be pushing. I mean, I made literally a YouTube video telling you how much I'm going to make this year. It's over 200. Damn, we got shit falling off my shelves behind me. What the fuck? Jason Hale donates $1 to the stream. I appreciate you, my man. Thank you. Are you playing the winner of Empire Maker and Osmo? I think you have the edge. I have no interest, honestly. I have no interest. I think it's fun. I think it's like entertaining. If they can make content around it, it's probably worth it. If not, then it's just, it's just a wager between them, right? That's what they want to do. They got their money. They do what they want with it. Boston Scott Sal? Yeah. Oh, you're from Boston, you mean? Boston's fun. I haven't been to Boston in like probably 4 years now, maybe 5. But the times that I've been to Boston, I think it's fun. I think it's a beautiful city. It's just freezing fucking cold there. Who's your favorite captain tonight? Boston Scott. Charleston, South Carolina. How is Charleston? I want to check out there in Savannah. I want to do this coastline trip. Who's Bradbury mainly going to be guarding? Probably Travis Fulgham. I would not expect it to be, in my opinion, I would not expect it to be a full shadow. So I don't think you got to worry about it too much, but probably Travis Fulgham. Let's pull up Bradbury's matchup so far this year. Let's see how often that he what's the highest percentage of shadow that he does. Let's pull it up. He's obviously been good, but James Bradbury played Allen Robinson 67% of the time. He played Kendrick Bourne 58% of the time and Amari Cooper 75% of the time. So without a clear alpha between Travis Fulgham and Deshaun Jackson, you can pick the guy that you think is more of an alpha. I think that Bradbury will be on maybe Fulgham 60% of the time tonight. Lamar's on bye and I picked up Wentz. How do you think he's going to do? I have him projected for 18 points, so pretty decent. Name 2 wide receivers for the Giants. Name 2 wide receivers for the Giants, or who do I have more of? I mean, the wide receivers for the Giants, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, Golden Tate. 4th string, Austin Max and CJ Board is hurt, and they cut Damian Ratley, who I saw somebody said was picked up by the Texans. I'm not positive on that, though. JC and Elliott Knight. The kickers night. Yeah, the kickers are going to be out and about tonight. They're going to be playing, that's for sure. I have a lot of kickers tonight. I don't want to have these kickers, but I got a fucking shit ton of kickers. Appreciate your content, info, and time, my man. Keep it up, mad props, says Brian Alley. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you. Appreciate that donation. No R in Fulgham, my friend. What did I say? Fulgham? Who's your favorite captain? Boston Scott. Why are we talking about this man's money? Y'all got to be respectful. Yeah, man, I honestly, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just, reading or just being, open with it with all my friends, being close enough to them. I really am fine to talk about almost anything. Money to me has never been something that I'm even when I had $90,000 in student debt, I would literally talk about it all the time and be like, that shit sucks. I'm gonna pay it off, but that shit sucks. I don't know. I know money's a very awkward point for a lot of people because it's something that people just neglect or don't want to deal with their debt or deal with the end of the month budget, right? But I don't know. I think confronting those types of things, just like anything, relationships, whatever it might be, confronting issues usually probably means that you'll conquer them. What gets measured gets managed. Shout out that. Yeah, if you have a bink, you'll make $200K, not just from your. I do not track any of my DFS or any of my DFS play towards my business. That's all personal. So anything that I make or lose in DFS has nothing to do with my business. Zero. It's basically just bonus. Savannah in the house. Hey, is Savannah nice? What's it like there? Syracuse, New York, 315. Hey, I'll say I'm a Syracuse basketball fan. I used to be huge in high school into Syracuse basketball. I went to a couple of games. My friend's dad used to have box seats and stuff, so we would go a lot, or just random seats anywhere. I think he had a tire company that's sponsored by them or something like that. They were partnered. But yeah. Syracuse is an interesting place. Also cold as fuck. Do you like Eagles 5-1? Not really. South, my man. What's up, Luke? How you doing? You a thug, bro, somebody says. I'm a thug. I don't know if that's a compliment. I don't know what that means. Sal looks like the type of a guy who farts into the toilet bowl and then flushes. I mean, sometimes, probably. I don't know. Hey, yo, Sal, we could be good friends, man. Oh, yeah? Boston Scott or Antonio Gibson? Boston Scott. Best personality out there, Sal, and that cut is fly as hell. Man, if you think this cut fly as hell, just wait for 2 weeks until Monster the Bob is back, my man. I robbed Kim K, somebody says. Nah, man, those men went to jail. Ever see the skit with Chappelle? Dave asks the white guy about his finances. His response, whoa, Dave, that's a little personal, as I was saying. That's so funny. I haven't seen that. I love Dave Chappelle, man. I never liked Dave Chappelle because I saw 1 or 2 things a couple of years ago that just weren't funny, so it gave me a bad sense of him. But then I saw all of his other stuff, or a lot of it, and he's great. I was 5 minutes behind. SML Sal, you the man. What's up, Smokey? How you doing? San Diego, California in the house. Hey, yo, Sal, book recommendations. One of my favorites. Mistakes were made, but not by me. Why we justify foolish beliefs, bad decision, hurtful acts. Nice. I mean, those sound good. If they're in audiobook form, I could probably listen to them quicker because picking up a book for me becomes difficult. That's why I've been trying to listen to audiobooks a lot more. But yeah, all the books, most of the books, not all of them, the ones that I can remember and now I'm trying to actively do it, are on my Instagram. which is just Sal_Vetri. I just have a highlight with all the books that I've read, I would say, like past 2 years or so. Who's captain, baby? Yeah, I got Boston Scott. I got Eagles receivers, some Devonta Freeman, some Richard Rodgers. I got 1% Richard Rodgers, I guess. So I mainly got all my captains into like 4 guys tonight. Scott, Deshaun Jackson, Fulgham, and Devonta Freeman. I'm actively avoiding the quarterbacks in the captain spot, just trying to get different. Hey, Sal, do you follow Al SALNFL? I know who Al is. I don't know if I follow Al on Twitter. I just don't follow a lot of people. Like if I don't follow somebody on Twitter, it has nothing to do with them. It probably just means I haven't had a like business or personal interaction with them, so I haven't had like the need to follow them, or they just don't post like breaking news or like injury updates. Because I follow 75 people, so I think I'm subscribed to Al though. I know Al. I know what he does. I've had Twitter interactions. That's about it. I think I might bounce. We went long as fuck, guys. We'd just be chilling in here right now. This game starts in like a half hour or something. I gotta get food. It's too late. It might be too late to eat right now. 7:36. I don't know if I want to eat that close to the falling asleep in like 3 hours time. All right, I'm gonna answer these final couple of questions if this shit's not is done being frozen. Ward or Clement? Ward. Freeman or Slayton? Freeman. Hooper or Schultz at tight end? Hooper. What do you think about Richard Rodgers? I got him projected for close to 8 points. I think he's decent, but not crazy. Djax props. I'm like near his yardage stuff. I'm not really touching Djax props. I don't have any inches. Daniel Jones will only get you running yards. Don't use. Yeah, Daniel Jones rushing prop, what is it? Like around 20 yards or something like that? Thanks for the info, Sal. Enjoy the game. You as well. All right, I think we might bounce. Is Bradbury worrisome for Philly wide receivers asking for a friend? By the way, you fucking awesome, brother. No, you're fucking awesome. Is he worrisome? He's been great. I can't say anything about Bradbury. He's been great. He was quietly fantastic the last like 2 years in Carolina as well. So, yeah, James Bradbury, I think he'll be on like 55, 65, let's say 60% Fulgham. Fulgham handled Marcus Peters and Jimmy Smith last week. Bradbury's been better than those guys this year, though, so he's somewhat worrisome. But the volume, I think, will trump it, and it's not going to be like a 100% matchup. Good luck, fellas. Good luck to you, too. You should consider buying some Draftkings stock. It's a great buyable level for long term. Yeah, I don't have any interest in individual stocks. Some people can have their own preferences. I guess my investment philosophy is I'm going to just load up the shit out of my solo 401k while I have that. If I ever hire employees, SEP, I don't need to get into all this. But my philosophy is basically just invest a shit ton into mutual funds, enough that is comfortable even if the market takes downturns. Obviously, long term, it'll be fine for the most part. But then I also have a lot of money in real estate. So real estate is probably my next venture once this market becomes a little less volatile, even though real estate never got too risky, I would say. But it might get risky on the back end if there's a recession /is. Yeah. Video card, check. Keyboard, Sal, super hot. Yeah, the keyboard's hot. It needs to cool the fuck down, this thing. You and Al are the best out there. Yeah, I want to do a collab. I would like to do a collab with Al. Joel Holka reached out to try and do a collab. I would love to do these collabs. It's just like the content that I'm doing, I would have to do like Saturday work or extra Friday work. And I purposely told myself last year that I don't want to do that. Like my Saturday video that comes out, I record that Friday ahead of time. So I don't work on Saturdays usually, maybe some laptop work. Sundays, I just do the live stream and then I just watch football, right? So last year, I didn't take any days off. Like Sundays, I would literally be recording all of the usage notes and everything the second the 1 o'clock games ended so that I could be ready for Pat Mayo's show in the morning. And I got burnt the fuck out by like week 10. So I told myself I'm not going to do that this year. So although I want to collab with like Holka, I would like to collab with Al. It would just have to be like very much so worth it, like to want to do it, right? So yeah, I'm open to collabs. It's just like has to be worth me dropping another piece of my content to do it. See you in the leaderboard chat. Best of luck. Best of luck. Yeah, before you go, smash like and subscribe. I appreciate that a ton. 315 best Italian food and pizza. 315. Where's that at? Bitcoin to the moon. Yeah, I saw it. I went on to PayPal. They're trying to probably get it in banks now soon, right? New roof is like a roller coaster up here in the Qs. Hey, you go on with Smiz, you blow up though. I mean, Smiz obviously has all the ESPN stuff, right? Obviously won the Millie back in the day, but I think to blow up, it would add, I would say, maybe like 50 Twitter followers, maybe. It would add maybe similar subscribers, maybe like 100 or so. So like I'm gonna blow up. Like if you want to blow, like the one day that I think Matthew Berry like retweeted something that Al said about me, I got like 200 Twitter followers. Like that guy's got 1 million followers, and that's the impact that it had. So like to really blow up, you need to be on like major stuff, right? Like ESPN primetime type of hours to blow up. But it's all relative, right? Where do you get your projections for players owned? So right now I get them from like 3 or 4 sources, but hopefully by the next week, ideally, we'll be starting to license them potentially from when that deal goes through. If it does, I can tell you then. But right now I use like 3 or 4 different sites and also my own beta stuff that I'm continuing to put together. It's amazing you know this much about football, but you're not a football purist. What does a football purist mean? I'm not sure what that means. Like a film watcher? I watch film. I watch some film. I rely on people's it all comes down to like trying to work smarter, not harder. I think I'm in the stage of realizing that, although I still work a shit ton of hours. But why not listen to multiple different podcasts of people that watch all the film, right, on these players, like draft season, things like that, right, for these prospects, than you spending all that time. If there's certain players I want to watch, I will, because there are, and I have. And this past year I did a lot. I would probably watch like 50 different players, but I don't know what a football purist means too much. Dual monitors means 3 for a laptop video card, a no-go, bro, unless you get a nice gaming laptop. Yeah, I got dual monitors right now, so I'll have to figure that out. I mean, it never gives me an issue ever, except this one time now that we're streaming, but maybe I'll just have to make sure this shit isn't on fire. But we're streaming longer than we ever have, too, right now. It's like almost an hour and 10 minutes. Hand building lineups is the way to go. Yep, if you're playing a few lineups, that is the way to go. I agree. At your age, you are more mature than some of the people I know that are twice your age. Maybe I need some new friends. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just know this. I was just able to put a business around a hobby. I actively tried for like a year to figure out like what I actually enjoyed doing, because I knew pretty quickly that a 9 to 5 just what like I had no attention span. I was doing well in the job, but I hated it. I was like checking the clock all the time, and I was like, this can't be my life. So I just read a lot of books. Like I literally think like anybody who asks me what is like a way to learn more about it, I'll just like read books, watch YouTube videos, right? Whether it's accounting or these other things, whatever you want to try and learn more about. I remember I did an independent study my 4th year of my 5-year major at Penn State, and what that basically was me putting together a business plan. And it's so funny. I literally made a business plan for a sports betting website. This was 3-4 years ago. I made a business plan for a sports betting website that is, I would say, very similar to like what FTN is right now. If you're not familiar with FTN, they just launched, I would say, right before football season. It's just like betting, data, information. Like I think they do picks, but like I don't know if they make you pay for picks, or that's just like kind of part of the subscription. But they just do like betting picks, betting data, betting tools, like a lot of really good stuff. I assume I haven't used it. But that's basically my business plan was. I had to put together accounting sheets and all this stuff. I didn't know anything about that shit, but I had an independent study. I went twice a week, and my teacher, who was a business owner, would just be like, it was just a one-on-one class. It was just like, this shit's all wrong. And I'd be like, all right, I got to figure this fuck out. So that helped a lot. And then just reading books. You saw similar when you went on with Mayo. When Mayo let me do his shows, I did like the second half of the year Monday shows for waiver wire type stuff, or not even waiver wire. It was like waiver wire. Yeah, it was waiver wire and like Monday Night Football a little bit and like recapping. I only had at that point like 7,000 subscribers. Like this was last year, so I didn't have a lot. So any exposure I got was a lot. So yeah, whoever I would go on, I would get new exposure. Like you're obviously meeting new people that you're not meeting. It would just, that exposure would have to be worth the extra like time and energy that is eventually going to catch up to me towards the end of the season when I'm like burnt out, or potentially burnt out. The goal is not to be this year. But I would say that Mayo, I don't know the exact number of boosts from him, but Mayo definitely boosted a good amount of my early reach. I would say propelled me maybe maybe like 1,000 subscribers, which at that point was a lot. I only had like 7,000. That's a huge percentage. I don't know the exact number though. Appreciate you, bro. Sal will be the next Jets head coach. I don't think I would want to be a head coach at all. No, like, I mean, I like what I'm doing right now. I would take on opportunities. Like, obviously, if ESPN, PFF, somebody wanted to reach out, I would take on contracting opportunities, right? So continue to do everything that I do. And then they're just like, hey, give us like an hour of your time here or there for a show or an interview. Obviously, I would do that. That's well worth it for me. I would do it for free. But being a Jets head coach does not sound fun. That just sounds like a lot of stress, a lot of in-person shit that I don't want to be at. Best flyer on somebody under $1,200. I would say Hakeem Butler or Jason Crome, one of those tight ends. You pick. Sally should have taken your advice last weekend with Gabriel Davis. He had an opportunity for a touchdown, I think. I think he got one thrown his way. Just got here. When is Golden Tate's ceiling tonight? What is his ceiling? I have Golden Tate projected for... We're going long. I like just chatting about other stuff, too. 9.5 fantasy points, I think that's the number says. I can't see behind. I literally can just move this, but I'm trying not to touch this laptop. It's about to fucking blow up. Golden Tate projected for 7.5 fantasy points. So his ceiling, I would say, is, 2 touchdown game, close to 20 points. 18. Sal, I just joined your Patreon and was wondering if you had any interest on doing some podcast breaking down lineups and strategy. I do a podcast Sunday mornings, which breaks down all the strategy for what I'm doing in my MMEs, 150 maxes, 20 max single entry, 3 max. It's like a 45-minute podcast Sunday morning. That's the extra piece of content that goes out on Patreon outside of the projections, rankings, soon-to-be ownership, 20-plus pages of game-by-game notes, showdown stuff. There's a shit ton of stuff there. But the piece of content is that podcast. We go through ownership. We go through everything. Basically go through everything. Savannah is great. Very historic. I live there. Nice. Sal, Richard Rodgers versus Ward tonight. I'll go Ward. Is it okay to play a wide receiver without playing the quarterback? Yes. Sal, Ward at captain, question mark? I don't think I have any. What's the foundation of your business? Seriously. I don't know what that means. What do you mean the foundation of my business? I've got if you count all different partners and affiliates, 8 revenue streams. Otherwise, it's broken down into affiliates, sponsors, subscriptions, one-off products, ad revenue, contracting work. So 5 or 6 main categories, but within those, then it's diversified even more. So if I lose a partner, over the pandemic, two of my partners just dropped. They weren't doing any more marketing. One of them sold, was Fantasy Draft, sold to Monkey Knife Fight, who's another one of my partners who stayed. So having 5 partners or over the pandemic, losing 2 of them, it was obviously felt, but nowhere near as much if I only had 1. Got to try and diversify in everything. Digital products, diversifying, whether it's a course, whether it's the draft guide, whether it's Patreon. Try and diversify everything. Do you think Chrome will see more than 1 snap? Last week, 1 snap, 1 catch for a touchdown. Yeah, he's only seen 2 snaps on the season. So I don't know. Right now, there's no Ertz. I don't know who gets that work. I don't know if it's Hakeem Butler. I think he's the better talent than Chrome. I really can't tell you. Do you see season-long fantasy for yourself? Do you do season-long fantasy for yourself? Yeah, I'm in an Ultimo League, 2 home leagues. I'm in the Scott Fish Bowl, which is some big fantasy football bowl for charity. And then, industry one. And then I'm in an Ultimo Dynasty. So I have 5 fantasy football leagues, 4 of which are season-long. And that's too much. Next year I'm doing 2 or 3. I just don't want to manage all these waiver wires. Odds PSU beats OSU next week. I haven't even checked the odds boards. I'm just happy to watch them this week. I don't even know what the live odds are. They're probably going to be nowhere near favorited, obviously. I don't know if it's going to be 2 touchdown underdogs. I don't know. Have you heard of Prize Picks? Any opinion on them? I assume their competitor is Monkey Knife Fight, so I'm partnering with Monkey Knife Fight. I much prefer Monkey Knife Fight. Back in the day, I had a meeting with Prize Picks, and that's about it. Just didn't go with them at that point. I was very early on in the process. I really didn't want to take on any sponsors. I wanted to know what I was doing first. And then I had a long discussion with Monkey Knife Fight. We talked some business. I liked the guys there, so I made a deal with them about a year and a half later. Evan Ingham or Sterling Shepard? I'll prefer Sterling Shepard there. Do you cover NHL or have any interest in it? I have interest in NHL. I don't cover it. I just from a fan standpoint, NHL playoffs, I like. That's about it. I bought your course last year. Is that class updated or still around? The course is basically the same course as last year. The goal is that every 2 years I'll update it. So next year I plan to make a brand new course with everything that's adjusted in the actual industry and things you have to adjust for, things that I've learned more of, right? So the goal is that next year will be the new course. So 2 years, then make a new one, unless a lot has changed, which I don't think there was too much. Any Goldman tonight? Not for me, no. Sal, you calling out your barber for not being there next time you go? No, I knew he wasn't there. He sent me a text. He's actually on top of his shit. He sent me a text a month before he went on vacation, yo, I'm going to be going on vacation these 3 weeks. And I was 3 weeks? I got my hair cut every 2 weeks. What am I going to do? And I couldn't wait that extra week. So I was we got to go. We got to take care of this. Do you just play on Super Draft? Just playing Super Draft. No. I play DraftKings, Super Draft. Now I play Jock Market more. I, as of literally like this weekend, have been using the Viget credits more. So I like to use the stuff that I use with partners. Yeah. What type of laptop do you have? And don't tell me HP. It's a MacBook Pro. I bought it a year and a half ago. 2 years maybe now. Somewhere around there. MacBook Pro. I like to stick to Mac, so I don't know like how much more I would have to level up for this to not be an issue. But it's never given me an issue. Just as the first time. It's really hot though, so it might be an issue. Shepard limited or full go? Unless there's been reports in the last 10 minutes that I haven't seen, I'm not too sure to be honest with you. Like I haven't been tracking it. Also, if you're not yet already following me on Twitter or Instagram, both of them, hit me up over there. Come up over onto Twitter. Got some other types of content over there. What are the chances Giants trade Saquon and save his career? I hope. Man, my man Saquon just getting fucking dogged out there. Worst offensive line. Just terrible run organization. Shit team. My man getting dogged out there. Alrighty, gang. I think I'm going to bounce. We went a lot longer than I normally do. We're at an hour and 15. These games start in a half hour. I got to eat some fucking food. Got to finalize my lineups. All right, I'm going to bounce. So we're going to be live on Sunday. Tomorrow morning will be the closing thoughts show. Hopefully they figure out on DraftKings if they have not yet already. I don't know if something's changed. What's happening with the Arizona-Seattle game, if it's on the main slate, and the Oakland game with Tampa Bay. Saturday, that one dude, player props video with Dylan Bird tomorrow at noon. Sunday live stream. All right, gang. Peace out. Follow over on Twitter. Sean says yuck. You say yuck about the MacBook? Why yuck? I love Macs. That's all I've ever used. I mean, there could be better things out there. I don't really know. Sal seems like the type of guy who will watch a full WNBA game without any money on it. No, I won't. But I have watched full NBA games with money on it. WNBA DFS is fantastic. And also, if people criticize WNBA players because they're women or whatever else other reason, there's less aggression. Like, I mean, I don't really have much to say to you. Like, they don't dunk as much. I don't know. Like, I think that high-level female sports I think they're entertaining. I also would not watch any sports if I didn't have money on them. Like, literally any. Maybe I would watch, like, the Olympics. But I would have zero interest in, like, NFL if I didn't have at least some sort of stakes on it, whether it's season-long fantasy, DFS, sports betting. I just have a lot better usage of my time entertainment-wise. But yeah, shout out the girls in the WNBA. If they had a better marketed league, the WNBA marketing, we've talked about this in the past, if you're an OG follower, is dog shit, and still is dog shit in my opinion. What is Jock Market? Jock Market is a daily fantasy sports meets a stock exchange. I'm partnered with them, but it's very fun. I have currently some shares right now of Morikawa. I'm going to try and look at some shares overnight of some of the stuff for the golf, but I have Morikawa right now, Fleetwood, and I got to pull up the other one. I got to bounce. I got to eat some goddamn food. Sal, did you do any best ball this year with DraftKings? No, I did it all with... I actually haven't checked any of my best ball stuff with Underdog. I don't even care to check it until later on, but maybe I should. But I did all my best ball with Underdog, not DraftKings. Where's this course at? It should be linked up in the description. I hope it's linked up there, unless I took it out for some reason. But yeah, you can check out the course. It's linked up. It should be linked up down there. It is... Yeah, the course is linked in the description below. DFS course, NFL. I hope she's watching this, Sal. Who? Christian D. Who do you hope is watching this? Should I start Boston Scott? Yeah. All right, best out. Peace, peace, peace. I like Twitter, but I hate the liberal Pop-Tarts over there. I mean, just curate your feed. I follow 75 people that just post updates and barely post on Twitter. So, like, I literally don't use Twitter except for as a news source. And, like, sometimes I post just some dumb shit because, like, today about the barber, for the brand. Peace out, gang. Appreciate you. See ya. I'm going to read this stuff about my laptop. I see somebody saying something. Peace out. Have a great rest of your night. Support the sponsor, Monkey Knife Fight. That supports me. Appreciate you all supporting me by watching this right now. 500 of you sticking in here, talking, hanging out. Best of luck tonight, everybody. Peace out. I need some damn food.